Hi, in this video, we are going to see about disk scheduling in operating systems. So when we take the operating system, it has some responsibilities. So the main responsibility of your operating system is to use the hardware efficiently. So when we go for the disk drives, so this disk drives also has its own responsibilities. So when we take those disk drives, it has to maintain two main responsibilities, that is the fast access time and the large disk bandwidth. So when we come for the access time, it has two major components. One is the seek time and another one is the rotational latency. So what is mean by seek time? So the seek time is the time for the disk arm to move the head to the cylinder containing the desired sector. So what is mean by rotational latency? So when we take the rotational latency, it is the additional time for the disk to rotate the desired sector to the disk head. Okay, so these two are the major components of your access time. So when we go for the bandwidth, this bandwidth is calculated in some way. It is the total number of bytes transferred divided by total time between the first service request and completion of the last transfer. So this is what is your bandwidth is. So these two responsibilities or the main responsibilities when we take the disk drives. So when we take our hard disks and everything, so in case of your hard disks, you will be having a disk like this. So you'll be having many disks like this. So in each and every disk you will be having tracks. So you'll be having tracks in these disks. So these are called as the tracks. So in these tracks you will be having sectors. So this is one of the sector. So in this particular place or in this sector, the data will be stored. So whatever data we want to store, that will be stored in the sectors that are present in the track. So we'll be having a ARM assembly. So this ARM is going to do the read write operation. Okay, this mentions your read write head. So this ARM is going to do that read write operation in the disk that are there, and inside the disk you'll be having tracks, and each track will be having sectors. In those sectors the data will be stored, and that will be accessed with the help of your ARM assembly. So this is the main thing of your moving head disk mechanism. Okay, so whenever a process needs the IO or from the disk, it issue a system call. Okay, whenever a process needs a IO or from the disk, it has to take some data. What it will do is it will just issue a system call to the OS. Okay, so when it issues the system call, so this request will have the following information. So the first information what it will have is like whether this operation is an input operation or an output operation. And next one is what the disk address for the transfer is, and then what the memory address for the transfer is, and what the number of sectors to be transferred is. So these are the main information that will be there in the request. So whenever a IO or a disk needs a data, it is going to give a system call, and that request will contain all these following information. So if the disk drive and controller are available, the request will be serviced immediately. Okay, so if the disk drive as well as your controller are available, whichever request you are giving, that will be serviced immediately. If not, what it will do is that it will send that request to the queue. So it will be pending there. So it will be pending in that queue. Okay, it will be waiting for the disk drive and the controller to be made available. Until it is available, it will be there in the queue. Okay, so it will be just like a pending request waiting for the disk drive. Okay, so when it is available, Okay, when it is available, when your disk drive and the controller are made available, then it will be taken and it will be serviced. Okay, so as I have told you, the pending request will be there in the queue. Okay, so all the pending requests will be there in the queue, so it has to take one of the pending request and it has to service it. How it is going to take that pending request? That will be done with the help of your disk scheduling algorithms. So the operating system will be using those disk scheduling algorithm in order to pick up a pending request from the queue and to service that request immediately. Okay, so when we go for that disk scheduling algorithms, you have different types of disk scheduling algorithms. So we have 5 different types of disk scheduling algorithms. First one is FCFS, next one is SSTF, and then scan, CScan, and look scheduling, and one more is there, that is CLOOK scheduling. So these are the basics of your disk scheduling. So if you have any doubts, you can just comment on this video. Thank you.